Hello viewers, this is our special edition, and today we have a guest with us. Our guest is Dr. Abdi Yuya, Commissioner for Oromia Planning Commission. And today we are going to discuss on the eve of the Ethiopian New Year. This Ethiopian New Year is usually, we celebrate the eve of it 5 days before the actual New Year. And these 5 days are designated into different names. The first one is named as Transformation Day, and the second one is Service Delivery and Reform Day. And we will focus on these 2 days with Dr. Abdi Ahmed, Commissioner of Oromia Planning Commission. And welcome, Doctor, to discuss this matter.
Thank you for having me.
Well, and let us start with this question. And Ethiopia, since the reform is commenced into this country and Dr. Abiy Ahmed came to the power, and there are so many reforms taking place, still underway, and there are many challenges as well, the past 5 and 6 years. And let us focus on what were the challenges and what were the opportunities as well.
Thank you very much for these important questions. First of all, I think before talking about the challenges that have been faced after the reform, it is good to recap some of the issues that we had before the reform.
Sure.
First of all, in terms of the political landscape, there was a problem of inclusion in the political system, and the political landscape was not level. And some of the parties have been marginalized, and people have been denied of their basic human rights.
Sure.
In the previous system, and only the one dominant party used to manipulate everything about the political system. And there was no respect for human rights, and also there was no true kind of federalism actually. Though they claim to have ethnic federalism, where every ethnic groups are supposed to have equal right in the political system, but that was not the real case. So the failure of keeping the promise that were embedded in the constitution had led to large discontent among the people, and also the youth revolution that have been that have created, that have given rise to the change in the political system, and that has given birth to the reform, was because the country was on the verge of collapse actually. So that is something that we have to remember before talking about. And in terms of economy also, policies, strategies, and different packages were rendered ineffective because of wide malpractices in the political system, systemic corruption, and different mischiefs. And the trade system was also full of illegal and informal activities, which was designed being designed to serve the interest of very few people. So that was the problem, and that has led to actually multi-pronged challenges in the economy and also in the political system. So following that, the revolution and the reform has come, and also the reform that was led by our Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, has come with a lot of hopes after the reform. And we have experienced so many changes that have created a lot of hope in our people. But during the time of reform, some of the challenges have been the continuation of the previous problems. One of the challenges that we had during the reform was the natural disaster, the drought, and also the problem that we had in some of our areas in Ethiopia, especially in the pastoral communities, that has claimed number of millions of cattle and also loss of livelihood. That is the natural disaster that we have been through. And the other problem was in 2019 we had a problem of COVID-19, which was the global pandemic.
Sure.
That has created a lot of trouble also to our economy, and also a lot of problem in our social and the political system. The other problem was the eruption of war between Ukraine and Russia. That has disrupted the global supply chain actually. So that created us a lot of problem, because we are dependent on mostly consumption goods imported from abroad. And that has created a number of macroeconomic imbalances. And the other problem was the conflict, the domestic conflict that was caused by extremist groups. In the north, in the northern part, we were in war with TPLF and also the Fano extremist group.
Sure.
And also in Oromia region with the Shene group. The time was tough, and the government had to manage these problems of peace. At the same time, the government has tried to introduce a number of packages that would transform the Ethiopian economy. So these are the problems, the main problems that we had. However, the government has managed to introduce a number of changes that can solve this problem. There have been a number of political reforms. There are so many economic reforms, social reforms that have been in place. So in order to handle the problem of political problem and instability, the priority for the government had to be to seek to restore peace through dialogue, through negotiation, through peaceful way of resolving problems. That was the priority. And the remarkable achievement is the government has settled peacefully the war with TPLF through the Pretoria Agreement. And also the government has been trying to make peace with the extremist group in the northern part and also in the Oromia region. But that has not been fruitful, because you cannot ensure peace negotiation if the other party does not do enough. And also if you don't know the actual intention of their war, and also that was the problem.
Sure.
Actually,
that is really very important point. That the very critical point that the Prime Minister often raises, regardless of these major problems that are obstacling the reform, but there are also service delivery problems. The country is in a very fast transformation, but some leaders, some civil servants are not effectively working. How the government is working to solve these service delivery problems in different sectors? Let us focus on that.
Very good. Well. This is actually a very good question. It was unfortunate that our service delivery has not been up to the expectation by the government. The government wanted the service delivery to be very much pro. The public are supposed to get all kinds of service from the government without any hassle, without any problem. But that has not been the case, because I think some of the bureaucrats used to they wanted to use the opportunity, because the government is busy with a lot of problems, a lot of problems. So they are trying to abuse the system and also
using the tough situation as an opportunity.
Yes, the tough situation, yes. Because the government is busy with a number of tasks, with solving multi-pronged problems in the country. The issue of peace, the issue of trying to... Yes. So, in the meantime, the service delivery has not been in a good situation. So, that is...
The good thing is... What do you think is the root cause is it?
The root cause is actually we have not established a good institutional institution actually that through which there is accountability, transparency, and also integrity of the public bureaucrats. Now, the good thing is the government is cognizant of this problem and also committed to solve this problem actually. Especially this year onward, the government is ready to take a number of measures to solve this problem. There have been free reforms. There has been some of the things that have been introduced by the government to solve this problem. One of the key tools that the government has tried to implement is improving the implementation capacity of the public service and public bureaucracy. And through improving the skills of the public servant. And through instilling some sort of merit-based recruitment and also performance-based promotion of the civil servant.
The right person at
the right person in the right, yes. And also trying to create awareness and also trying to put the right person at the right place. And the other thing is through introducing digitalization and digitalization of the public service. This has been started a lot. In some of the areas and sectors, there have been good achievements. Results have been realized through, especially in, for example, in managing the land management system. The introduction of the cadastral system in the cities has solved some of the part, even though a lot of work has yet to be done. And also in so many payment of bills, for example, that's through digitalization of payment system.
Look, Doctor, you have mentioned a lot of issues so that everybody can witness it, as long as citizen of this country. And if these problems were not there, understanding the performance of the government that we are witnessing today, transformation, success in wheat production, success in rice production, success in city building smart cities here and there, including the capital. If the major problems you have mentioned were not there, how do you see the effort of the country, the commitment of the leaders to transform the country? Because we know the past, it was very complicated problems. Regardless of that complicated problems and regardless of the domestic war and so many challenges you have already mentioned, but still the country is in the progress. If that problems were not there, what would be seen today?
Excellent. You have raised excellent point actually, because one thing that we need to acknowledge and appreciate is about the level of commitment by our leaders. We have undeniably a lot of hope, and surprisingly, regardless of all the kind of problem in terms of the peace and in terms of the geopolitics and in terms of the pressure from the external forces. You remember the repealing of the AGUA sanction on false propaganda. That is one of the big things, that we had to pay all this kind of price to restore our peace and to reform the whole system. The success that you have mentioned, such as the success that we have realized in the agriculture, that is amazing. That is something extraordinary actually. In the transformation of we have managed to produce on land that has never been touched. And we have started initiatives that has never been tried. If you take in case of Oromia, we have witnessed, nobody can deny this. We have started the rice initiative. We have started the wheat initiative, the irrigated
that is
wheat,
what I'm going to mention.
And
culture, rain-based culture change.
Yes, that is one of the things that Ethiopia badly needs, actually. Our agriculture has been rain-fed and 100% dependent on rain. We have started to change this thing. This is one of the transformation which we have to celebrate, which we have we have to give a big appreciation and applaud for our leaders. And the other thing is the government has managed to substitute the import of wheat by the local production. Not only substituting by local production, we have managed to export this wheat.
Sure.
And also there are areas where some farmers start to complain that the price of wheat is going to be low.
Sure.
No, yeah, that is something that we need to be very much happy about and celebrate. So this has created a lot of hope. Not only this one, there are over 28 initiatives in agriculture, 28 initiatives. In terms of livestock also, in terms of the production of honey, chickens, yeah, urban agriculture, creation of job, attracting investment in areas that have never been tried, we have achieved a wonderful result in that aspect, regardless of all these problems. As you have mentioned, if the problem that we have, the problem of conflict, is not there, we would have imagined the kind of result that we achieve.
Might be a kind of miraculous achievement.
Yes, miraculous. And also, with all this, so one of the big transformations that we have is the country has transformed itself into a resilient economy.
Exactly.
Regardless of all the problems.
Sure. And the other point is, Doctor, as you have already mentioned earlier, the political reform, because the reform is holistic.
Yes.
There is political reform and social reform and economic reform. And in the previous time, there were the centrists and the peripheries were also there. But that tradition is not now, it's become history. And all are in their own country, whether they are from Somalia or from Gambela or from Benishangul, all are in the center.
Yeah.
How do you measure these? Because, self-administration, self-ruling, the perfect self-ruling is now at least realized. So how do you see these? What is the benefit of this?
This is basic for everything. It's a basic for economic success, basic for success in the social sector. If every citizen does not feel a citizen of a country, and if there is no national belongingness, there will not be success in the development or aspects. What has been done is the creation of Prosperity Party has solved all the problems that we had in the previous time. Inclusivity. The party does not belong to any ethnic group now, any single ethnic group. This is real. This is not something that we just talk just for the sake of politics. It is actual, it is practical. And this time, every ethnic group at the corner of all the Ethiopian region are feeling they are proud Ethiopian now. They have started to feel proud Ethiopians. Those who have been marginalized in the previous time, now they are coming to the center and they are exercising political autonomy and they are dependently administering their own region and they are doing everything that they feel to be the best for their people without any intervention. That is some remarkable thing that should be also celebrated.
I'm raising this because if there is no sense of belongingness, it might be the cause of conflict. Exactly. It might be the cause of corruption. It might be the cause of hiding yourself from the politics, from the reformers. The basic thing is this has to be strengthened. This has to be supported by another achievement.
Exactly.
This has to be sustained. Let us also take this reform to the specific, the economic reform. What do you say about this economic reform? Ethiopia is going to see itself in the middle income countries. We have said middle income countries so many years, but now it is being realized. And what do you say on this as well?
Thank you very much for raising this question also. The economic reform has been phenomenal in the homegrown economic reform 1.0 and also the homegrown economic reform 2.0, the extension of the first one. they were designed based on the problem that we had, the economic dysfunctioning policies, and also trying to make the economy multi-sectoral. We used to depend on some selected picking the winner kind of industrial policy. Now, this time, the strategy is to focus on multi-sector. Though we have we are understood and well aware that without changing the agricultural sector, it's not possible to change the other sectors. So that is why the government has put a lot of focus on the agricultural system, solving the problem of supply and solving the problem of market, and also trying to link and trying to develop the value chain in agricultural systems. That will help us transform our agro-processing. After building the agro-processing base, you can you can go to also other high-level, high-tech manufacturing and other sectors. So the macroeconomic reform had about big four pillars. The macroeconomic reform, one is the macroeconomic reform, the other public sector reform, sectoral reform. There are so many packages in this. So especially one of the big problems that we had, the debt burden we have been in for over 30 years. The government has managed to ease this debt burden through taking the right measure and trying to restore macroeconomic stability. And the recent introduction of the floating exchange rate is a remarkable move by the government, which solves a lot of problems that we have been in. We have been in a vicious circle of macroeconomic imbalance. The recent reform will solve so many problems. One is the debt issue. The other one is it will help build the competitiveness of our economy in the global world. It will encourage investment in sectors, in some of the key sectors, especially where the foreign investors used to be very much afraid to get into or denied of engagement in the sector. So this will transform a lot. In the macroeconomic reform, the political goal of the government is to change the livelihood of the people. To the ultimate beneficiary of this economic reform is going to be the people. So that is the target. So the government is doing all it had to do to improve the life of the people. So there are so many things that we can talk about economic reform. But
let us raise two issues together at the same time. And one is the use of technology in this reform, because technology has its own enormous role in boosting economy and in activating the public service as well. And the other one is developing a sense of serving people. So it has to be a kind of culture. Let us discuss on this as well.
Yeah. You have raised two things. One is about technology. The other one is trying to build the culture of serving the people with The first thing is there is no option for using technology, because technology and high quality education are the core of economic transformation. We have to make our education system better in a sense that the good skilled laborers and also adequate knowledge about the ongoing technological progress can be developed in the country. National capability building is the basic thing that we need to focus on. Capability in a sense in terms of knowledge, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of technological capabilities. Yeah. So these are the things that the government is well aware about, and also working a lot of things. The government is committed to spend a lot of money on this to develop the education sector and also the technology capability. Service deliveries. One of the things is there is misunderstanding about these things. There are people who feel to serve as if they have to pay to get service. So that's not the case. All the civil servant is there to serve the people with honesty, for free, and with all level of commitment. So we have to make aware our people about this thing. And the other thing is we have to establish a system, institutional system, whereby a civil servant is a kind of accountable for what he does, and there is transparency in service delivery. And in this, the role of technology, digitalization is very important in this. So this is one thing that the government is working in.
And I think monitoring should be part of this.
Sure.
And unless things are monitored day after day, it might go wrong direction. And how monitoring should be part of it. If you can say something on this as well.
Yeah. Installing an effective monitoring and evaluation system of the civil servant is a very good thing. That this has been in place, but we have not managed it very well, actually. A civil servant has to be evaluated on the basis of what he delivers or she delivers to the public. We are introducing performance-based kind of evaluation of the civil servant. There should be a system where if somebody is doing something wrong, should be exposed or identified, or we have to make everybody play his or her role in making this happen. Change the mentality of civil servant itself is very important. The other thing is there are incentive mechanisms that the government is trying to introduce. So all of this will have beneficial impact on changing the civil service.
Finally, if you have any message to my audience, you are welcome.
Yeah. My message is mostly for the elites. I just want our elites to try to understand what is going on and build a culture of appreciating success and celebrating what we have achieved. Otherwise, it will not be possible for us to go.
You mean unless we appreciate what we have?
Yes.
And it is very difficult to have another
one. Yeah, sure. That's one my big message. And let's work on our communal interests instead of pursuing our individual interest or group interest. So let's prioritize our national vision and mission. Try to understand the global landscape. That is my main message to your viewers.
Dr. Abdi Yuya Ahmed, Commissioner of Oromia Planning Commission, thank you very much for your time and for your insights as well.
Thank you.
We appreciate.
Thank you very much.
You. Dear viewers, this is all about our discussion with Dr. Abdi Yuya Ahmed Special Edition. And I'm sure you have got some important pointers from this discussion. And until next edition, goodbye.